Hey all, Pixel here, Improbable Garage. We're in the van and we're dealing with visors. So this is my driver's visor. As you can see, it's badly torn over here. That's because I tried to bring it down and it was stuck and I forced it, and the old foam and vinyl was less strong than the steel on steel. So this visor is unfortunately pretty trashed. But the point of this is, one, showing you not to do that, but I'm going to take this one off and see if there's a way to free that up so that it works again, so that if you've got a problem with your visor having gotten stuck, you can take yours off and do that and not end up in the situation I'm in. I'm lucky, I have a spare, so I'm going to put that in. So there's 3 screws, 1, 2, 3, and it's going to be interesting to reach those upper ones with the visor stuck the way it is. I'm hoping I can kind of pull it off to the side enough to gain access in there. Alright, I got it off. So you may have noticed I was able to reach up with both hands and pry on it. The big thing that these have is there's this post that runs down all the way through, and then you can see it in the tear. There is basically a loop of steel around that post that's then molded into this. So if you grab right on the other side, you know, that piece of it comes out about 1 inch. So if you grab right there with both hands and turn and push, you can be applying all of your pressure to that piece of steel, not to any of the foam, and you'll probably be able to rotate it at that point. If you really want to, you can use your visor like that, but you're just asking for trouble. But like, even having done that, this is now doesn't really want to turn. So I'm going to put the new one in because it's got to go in regardless, and then we're going to go in the shop and see if we can figure out a way to loosen that one up. Alright, because this visor is shot, I'm going to be clamping it in the vise. Obviously don't do that. So yeah, don't do that. You're going to damage yours. But I want to be able to mess with this with both hands and talk to you without also be balancing a visor. So this might be a case where you need a second person. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So this is just a synthetic lube. You can probably use WD-40 for this. You can probably use like white lithium or a couple of other things. You want something that's got some liquidity to it, because you need it to flow all the way down this. So there's a gap between the post and where this is stitching starts. So I think if I jam this down there, you're definitely going to want something that's got a straw. Get it in there and not just soak this thing in it. So I'm giving it a little bit of time to run down, and then hopefully okay, still pretty stiff. Okay. All right, it's moving now. Now, just to see. I'm going to be actually. So I've clamped now that end in. It's not going to be quite accurate because, but yeah. Obviously it's not a perfect thing to check because this one's already broken, but I can now get it to move. I feel like a couple more applications and working it in like this. Yeah, see that now? It's still stiffer than I would optimally like, but yeah, see that now moves? That's no longer jammed. So it seems like it's as simple as that. Again, this is not a perfect example because this one's already broken, but mostly this is about don't do what I did, don't try and force it. You can, if you absolutely have to, do that thing where you reach around, grab just that first little bit where the metal is, and rotate that. And then if you get some grease in there, you get some sort of lubricant in there, you can get it to move much more freely. And oh look at that. I'm walking it off of the post. All right. That post is warm. Like this post is warm from the friction of using that on it. So what I'm going to do, clean this off, take a look at it. Yeah, there's definitely a bunch of various marks on there. So that's another thing to know, is if you have multiple sets, like if you got a set where this is broken and you've got another set where it's good but the visor is bad, you can take the visor off. Yeah, I don't like it because, like, it's not perfect. This is definitely stiffer than I would like, but yeah, there we go. That now moves one finger with a little bit of effort. So if yours is stuck, take it off very carefully like I did. Get a little bit of something in there to loose and get it, work it till it's loose, and then work it off, clean everything up. If this rod here has any corrosion on it, I would actually take a piece of sandpaper, like buff that post. But yeah, there we go. The other nice thing is these things don't care what side they're on. So the set I have that I used to replace one, the one on the other side, this is completely shattered. So off camera, what I'm actually going to do is take this out of this one, take that one out of that one, put this one in, and then I've got a good spare visor. These visors, aside from the warning labels, are also ambidextrous. So if you need to, if your driver's side visor is busted, you can move your passenger side visor over, or you can find a passenger side visor off another van, and all you literally have to do is that, and now it's passenger side visor. The only thing is, like, this label on here, which, by the way, this came out of a 79, and it's information on your catalytic converter. I'm genuinely sad I broke this visor because I always found that warning label amusing. The other one that's on there has a warning label, is from the 80s. It has a warning label about, like, starting your car, but I really liked this sticker. I found that really entertaining. So that's it. Hopefully this is useful to someone. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.